We have Antoine. Sipke demos.
Nope.
What? So many PRs, no demos. Point, man. Topics?
I did write a blog post.
Yeah, I saw that. Blog post.
And I wrote documentation.
Yeah, I saw that too. Antoine also. But Antoine copied it from Chris. I didn't read it, but I realized that we talked about it with Chris before. Okay, status. I already patched the last changes on Orchard 1. One PR merged. Update WebRequestActivity. And missing the delete verb handle from the controller, from the activity itself. You could set it in the settings, but it was not handled correctly, so now it's fixed. And that's it for Orchard 1. OrchardCore. The last commit is on master, because I pushed a new version today. I gave it 2 or 3 days, staying as a PR. Jean-Thierry tried it, and he said it was good, so it's merged. So if I look at the dev branch, which is the one here, let's filter on the dev branch just to see what has been merged on dev and then on master. So on the dev branch from last week, let me check the date. This must have been local time on my machine, which means we need to check something like this around that. So play modules documentation. So Antoine fixed some typos and things like this. Migrate to OpenIddict RC3. So the NuGet packages were pushed on NuGet, so we updated to these ones. Remove admin footer because it was causing an issue with some scoring. Removing restriction which activities are startable, so we can start any activity. I think we already talked about it. So I will move up by a few hours. Fix script. This is fixing a broken path on media drag and drop. Here it has to be specific to the module name, otherwise it might not work in some modules or some locations of the admin. Ensuring setting driver check permission, just so that I talked about it last week. We are just getting the current user and checking the permission, so I can jump again more than that. And I don't see anything else, which is weird, because this thing doesn't work. So let's go back there. This is the second line. AddOrchardCms overload with a configure action. This way, here. Let me show you. When we do AddOrchardCms, we have a lambda that will work on the OrchardCore builder. So when we call AddOrchardCms directly from the host application, we can also configure the tenant services directly with this lambda. That's how we do that now. See, configure, and we return the services collection. So if we want to do AddOrchardCms and then add stuff from other service collection in extension method, then we can do it directly. And if we want to configure the builder, we can pass an action to it. Some updates and fixes. Maybe we already talked about it also. Set order explicitly for data protection, so we are sure that it will override any local information, any local service. So when this module is enabled, we'll take it into account. Forms modules was merged, and I think we talked about it also. Dev branch, let's jump to that. Release notes documentation, we talked about it. .NET new template was merged. So this is the merge. Then Sipke forms remove poly package version. Okay, yeah, he fixed it during the meeting, I remember. So when was it? Yeah, that's, the date is good. This is Matthias adding a delay on the flyout, which apparently added some more issues. So the decision was taken to remove the flyout completely from the menu because it was just adding issues and too complex to maintain. So security, we remove it. So now you have to click on the menu so that it opens, expands. The new template documentation from Jasmin here, and this is what is live, and I will show you how to create a new project from .NET New. Update template project files, so fixing the template files, removing package version. This was from Sipke. Why is that? What branch is that? That's dev, that's good. Rename BodyPart to HtmlBodyPart was merged. Update forms to new SDK razor requirements. So your modules have, when they are in our main solution, have to use this SDK if they have views, and also reference the MVC, which is a requirement to have precompiled views, the two things, that and that, if it's a class library in the solution. Fixes HTML and Markdown bodies because bugs. Yeah, this was binding not the correct model, so we were missing some properties, and then there were some name conflicts also, which were predating the PR from Antoine, so it was my fault. So I fixed the name so there is no more collision, and same thing in the JS scripts, which are missing stuff, because by testing it I found that the media boxes, the media sector were broken by your improvements, something we didn't try automatically. So I fixed a bunch of issues with that, and everything was working after that, so that's good. Then I found an issue in MVC. Someone filed an issue, a bug. Matthias found the issue, and the issue is, and I confirmed that with the MVC team, that when you call try update model multiple times on the same controller, once it's invalid, it will remain invalid even if you call again try update model. And even if try update model returns true, to say no, even if try update model succeeds, then it will return false still if model valid is false. So it won't do what the method name does or says it does. It will just return false all the time, even if it succeeded. So if you say try update model and it succeeds, you will still get false. So I fixed our wrappers so that, you see, preserve model state with a fix that Matthias had found, which is store the previous model state and bind the new model state, clear the model state, call the update method we want to invoke, and then get back the new model state in the updater to keep the value well. And put back the stored model state inside the updater, which is the controller in this case. So this fixes the issue everywhere. We got the issue. Fix admin left menu by using click event instead of over. This is what we talked about, just fixed. Remove the flyout. So now we have to click on the menu items. Any questions? What am I missing? This is the post from Sipke. Remove the JWT, the JOT bearer handler reflection-based resolution logic from OpenID code. Okay, something that is not necessary anymore. Good. Fix user form layout left padding by Jasmin. Good. Automatically reload the current tenant when the OpenID client server validation settings are updated. I think something that Antoine already done for his module, which is called reload shell context on the shell host when you change the settings that need to trigger a restart on the tenant. For instance, SMTP settings or data protection settings, authentication settings, things like this, that are only loaded on startup. Good. Fixing MVC and NC samples. Yes, because they were not registering a shell option object, and then we could not find the default value for the shell settings, even though there is just none, but it was looking for a string in the shell options. Fixing media ID. 1 second, I need to close the window, too much noise. I'm back. Media added on several Markdown editors. Yeah, the code had an issue, and I had mentioned, and Matthias nicely fixed it, which is when you had multiple Markdown editors, if you added one media in one of them, it will be added in every one of them. So now it's fixed. Migration for BodyPart to HtmlBodyPart name changes. So a migration from, what is name? I don't remember, but it will provided the migration for body to HtmlBody, which we removed later because there is apparently an issue with the way we also changed the module name, and then the migration should not run at all, or should run even from the create, and it was running multiple times somehow, and it will break the migration completely. So the solution is that you have the SQL here, you can run the SQL on the database you want by yourself. That's the idea. So if you have an existing site and you want to upgrade to a newer version after 5 days ago, and you want to keep your bodies working, you need to run this script, which will work on every database because it's just standard SQL. Using a single NuGet templates project, change from Gentry based on the code that we found on the Razor templates. So we reorganized the work from Antoine to put everything in one single project, and this single project contains 3 templates: one for the CMS, one for creating a module, and one for creating a theme. Okay, and with options to create, to use or not the nlog logging, and some options for parts and so on. And I will show you how it looks like in the solution. That's interesting if you want to add more templates. Using unstable version of templates packages, this is just work on the templates, which was not working, so we fixed it again later. Yeah, the commands were not working. Simplify path resolution for the templates, I assume also. Rename link path in mkdocs, the links were wrong. Then rename the new documentation for the new module. Fix links and GIF in templates, so some more fixes. Fixing the reference to form, and by the way, added comments now, so you know that all the references here have to be in alphabetical order, and that when you copy paste a line or you add a line, don't forget the private assets equals none. And it's also documented why earlier. Then this is Matthias with a fix, we'll see later. Flickering of submenu and page reload fixes. Fixes that media table does not resize images. The query string was wrong. Then on dev branch, improving templates. So I found out some more techniques to make good templates, like redefine the name of the parameters and provide examples. And we found ways to do what? We did something special. Yeah, because this template JSON is actually a template for a template. You see it's template.config.src. So this template JSON is actually a template itself, and we can see it here. This thing is templated. So this is the version of Orchard. We can pass a custom version, but it needs a version to be able to generate the package pointing to the correct other packages. And this is a build time thing. So we need to generate a JSON document with a build time value. So this thing is generated when the package is built, because on the CI it will know the build number, and on the CS proj of the host, the web project, the project that contains the templates, there is a custom script that will replace this value by the actual NuGet packages value, or the currently built or build number from the CI. So I will jump to the dev branch, updating the main documentation page, which is I remove that, removing this link because it will be in the GitHub, removing this thing because it will be in GitHub, updating index, the main page. I updated it with all the information that we got from the previous blog post. I think it makes much more sense with pointers to the getting started and how to run a template and things like this. And this one is a template readme that I fixed because these were not the correct parameters, and because too many commands, I think, from what we needed. Yeah, I will show you what it looks like in the end. This is the branch. This is migrating to .NET Core 2.1.1, which appeared just before we released beta 2. So we are like, let's use the latest version, which is 2.1.1. So now the CI scripts, they will download automatically the SDK version we need. We won't be waiting anymore for the one that the CI provides, because it was not. So you need the 2.1.301 now to run beta 2. Okay, and it's installing the correct one, and you see here all the versions which were 2.1.0 are now 2.1.1, but the ones which were not bumped or were wrong, some of them were completely wrong or we are not using, so I just remove them if we are not using them completely. That's it. And the applications which, well, the projects which were referencing MVC directly now are pointing to 2.1.1 directly. Okay. So we have some branches maybe which, this one have been merged, we'll see later. Removing HTML migration because it was not working correctly. ResetPassword, run redirect also. Antoine found it. Antoine, by just testing what we shipped, found many very important bugs that we fixed. So these ones were wrong. Fixing doc link. Here I forgot a slash. And then we merged to master on Friday morning. Okay, so merge dev to master with the tag 100 beta 2. So we shipped on NuGet on Friday morning. Then we continued to make some PRs on the dev branch, and we found an issue with the templates that I fixed also. Jean-Thierry also fixed it, and I merged it this morning. So another merge on master. So we have another version on master to patch the master branch. And we'll accept the same changes on the dev branch. One of them is already done. We just need to accept the setup tenants also on the dev branch. And that will be done with that. Everything else here is on the dev branch. Also, I added the HTTPS endpoint on the templates on master. Fixing the documentation. Yes, because we are releasing non-stable package version, because it starts with beta. The .NET new -i, if we don't specify the exact version, won't work. So we need to specify the exact version. In this case, I put -stars, which like the latest. And yeah, so that need to be fixed. Otherwise, nobody could have used the templates. There will be some compilation issues. Also, there was another issue on the logs that we found just once we were on NuGet that the logs were not working. Well, the logs were showing some issues because the the root folder was not existing, and image sharp needs that to create the cache, the image caches, and we would have seen that if we had tried the agency recipe and not just the blog recipe, which I did. So then when I tried from NuGet with the agency recipe, I saw the logs from this thing not working, so we fixed it as part of the patch on master. Antoine did update the Fantosum on the dev branch because it was not important for master branch. This is the fix on templates I mentioned earlier. Then I changed the prefix on dev branch to beta 3. So now all the versions on Migrate are based on beta 3. Updating dependencies, Castle Core, removing this one. No, this one is actually needs to be removed. There's another PR for that because it's not used. YAML 2501 because there was a security issue on that. But for the thing we use, we don't care. This is just for user provided YAML, and this isn't the case for us. We generate it. So removing auth validation, updating Docker image tag, same thing to have the beta 3 name in Docker images. Dev branch right now is the same issue that we merged in master, fixing the double boot missing on the templates. Then Antoine, this is the new documentation he copied from Chris to put it as a custom page. This one, how to get started with the blog engine, and he mentioned the blog post directly in the top here, so that's good. Antoine updated. Oh, he started a new. No, it's a new theme. I'm confused. It's a new theme or it's an existing theme? It's an existing one.
It's the existing one. It's just the name of the PR.
Okay.
Name.
So updated the theme with Fantosum 5 and fixing the menu, making it better.
Adding icons.
And the icon. We have this one, forms activity titles, the same thing as the other workflow activities, to be able to set the title on the form activities. For model state validation, which apparently has a bug, and maybe it's a bug since the change we made to the validation state, I don't know. This is a weird bug. File store, when the file, oh yeah. So if you would reopen a website and you close the website with on a folder in the media in asset management that doesn't exist anymore, it will try to load the thing because it was stored in local path, and it will fail. So now it's logged, but it's also handled correctly by returning not found. Documentation on forms from Sipke. Fixing some things in the workflow. Invocation action is a new feature to be able to select the form from the activity.
No, the other way around.
So
you can now, yeah, you can create a form and then select the workflow that you want to handle the submission of that form.
A fix from Jean-Thierry about setting up the tenants, bad HTTP, which was merging master also. I tried it, it was working. This is the fix, and again master. So if we look at NuGet.org and we look for the first one is Antoine's module about discuss, and if I take OrchardCore dot, for instance, templates, for instance, we see we have another new beta 2 version. Nobody downloaded it yet. Okay, and this one from Friday, 37 downloads. Yep, that's it. So that's good. What else? So if I look at the documentation, OrchardCore. Here. So the first page now explains more things. What is OrchardCore? Okay, CMS and framework, how to use a framework, how to use a CMS, there will be a link to the getting started here, which should be the one from Antoine. Antoine, if there is no link, please update that in your PR. Command line, and I think I provide a link to the templates. I hope it works. It works. Oh my god. I made a link and it worked. And you see, the only thing you need to do now to start, either follow the getting started from Chris or .NET new-i to install the OrchardCore CMS templates, latest version, and then .NET, or this for special feed, like for the dev branch, this is this one, and then to create a new site, .NET new OC CMS, OrchardCore CMS. And if you don't want logging by default, which is by default, you do that, and you have a website and OrchardCMS running.
And now it will be beta 3 on the dev.
That's totally true. It should be beta 3 now on this thing now. So this is wrong. But that we'll fix it on next release.
Yes.
Or you'll go to the dev branch and we'll fix it. Okay. Yeah, totally true. So dumb. But we had a big PR for 4 days and nobody found it. And if you found it before, Antoine, that's bad. You didn't report it before. Yeah, and everything is up to date. Installing the OrchardCMS from templates. This is the one we are here. Different sections. Yep. About page. Status to the roadmap. Okay, everything is good. No, there are lots of bugs, but you will find them and report them. So that's good on that side. The questions? What did I miss? Did I miss anything in the? Yes. Okay, it's just faster. So YAML. So we still have YAML on the site settings, but we don't need it on the site settings. We had it for the manifest because it was easier to write, but now the manifest is pure C#. So we just had it for site settings. I don't know for what reasons we had it in the site settings historically. I was not part of the team when the decision was made, so I don't remember. But I talked to Nick and he agreed that there is no reason to use YAML in the site settings. So we'll just change it to JSON, which is much easier to read and write than YAML without the security implication that if there are issues. Might be also faster because they are super optimized. And good thing is that we don't need a custom provider to be able to load all the site settings as .NET Core configuration. So we'll use the same format as the .NET configuration, the app settings, and this way anything you put in the site settings will be available as configuration in your app, in the tenant. That will be super useful, I think. And also by doing that, we'll be able to define tenant configuration like names, prefixes, and everything, and connection string by using standard .NET configuration. And hopefully being able to use all the encryption technique from the standard .NET Core configuration, also being able to pass all the values from the environment variable, and this will just be configuration, ASP.NET Core configuration, and not just site settings. Site settings will just be a section of the settings. And we will be able also to have common values maybe for all tenants and specific values for specific tenants. That should be good. Did someone test the new UJIT compiler? Well, you've been using it for 2 years already, I assume. So yes, you tested it for a long time already. If you saw it in the news, I think it's just because it got all supported in a specific version of the .NET Framework, which was not using it so far. But I'm pretty sure the .NET Core is using it already. So yeah, that's the question. Yes, this is something I haven't tried, but this is the goal. You can implement features. The host is a feature, and you can implement controllers and views directly in the host too. This article, thank you for the link from Sipke. I need to mention it. Building multi-tenant API core applications with OrchardCore. Awesome. The only thing I would say in the title is maybe we should be explicit when we use OrchardCore framework or CMS, just to insist on the differences. So I've just saw it on the draft that Sipke sent me, but I didn't have the time to review it. So if you read it, you can give some feedback already, Sipke. Yeah, that looks just no CMS, which is good. Focusing on tenancy, so the same thing. Okay, good.
And I didn't even use MVC.
Oh, so did you mention that? Did you mention that you are not using it? No. So just Web APIs module. Yeah, so I assume and I hope that you know about the samples. And you're not responding, which is bad.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, now yes, but do you know about this side?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good. So at least, I need to update that, by the way, because to update that with the new beta, unless someone will create a PR. But yeah, that's apparently the same thing, and I'm glad there is an article now I can point to, because I just had a video to point to. Which reminds me I need to answer a comment on this video now the beta 3 is released, beta 2 is released, as I promised Bertrand. Yeah, that's very good. Thank you very much. Did you tweet about it? I didn't see any tweet. Well, I didn't check recently, but I will retweet with your chat.
I tweeted an hour
okay.
or so.
I will retweet then. That's good. Okay. Awesome. Can implement it straight from the host. Oh, did you show that in the article?
Show what?
What was?
Oh yeah. So now you can in the article. I'm not creating modules.
Ooh.
I'm just creating the host application, the ASP.NET Core application, and then I create 2 start classes, and I also define the assembly. I use the assembly level feature attributes to declare the features.
So you're just focusing on multi-tenancy, but not really modularity. There is modularity because you have the features, but it's logical modularity and not physical. So okay, that's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah, people will be, what? I don't get it. What's the point?
Yeah, so existing Orchard users will be confused because there's no modules. Not even. Yeah, there's just features. Yeah. And there's not even a manifest. It's just.
That's the issue with so much concepts. What concepts do you explain? Because you expose features and they will be like, I just want you to do multi-tenancy. Yes, you can do multi-tenancy without. You see, and then when you show features, you can say, hey, but by the way, you can export this feature in a specific assembly and put it on NuGet, so you can reuse it across your apps. And I'm like, okay, and so many things you can do. And as you explain them, they are like, well, that's too complicated. I don't need that. Okay, but you don't have to.
Yeah, so I didn't want to show the modularity or the features, but then I wasn't sure how to demonstrate the usefulness of a multi-tenant application. But maybe having settings per tenant, that would suffice.
At least the connection string, and or the color of the background, or the name of the customer. And
exactly.
Databases are isolated, and you show different features. That's good.
Maybe I should revise the article and then just show the multi-tenancy.
No, that's fine.
Maybe next step would be associating a tenant with features, and then explain what features are, and then how, and that could evolve into a modular.
No, that could evolve into a book, and it will be 1,000 pages. That's the issue. You have to stop somewhere. So that's good. Don't worry.
Right.
That. What else? URL. Oh yeah, I opened some URLs here because from comments on Gitter. So on Gitter, someone mentioned this CMS. I didn't check anything what it was. He just said that he wanted something that. So this is Piranha. This is ProcessWire. Yeah. If I open this page, logged me out. If I read on the OrchardCore, this is this guy Philip Holly. I love ProcessWire, but I'm the developer. OrchardCore seems like the closest thing for .NET. So I wondered why it was close to that. I still don't know. I haven't checked. Fields, okay, you can customize dynamically, for instance, your content type, so that might be it. I will check why he says it's close to that one. Let's see, and if they have good ideas. For instance, we took very good ideas from CMS Craft CMS. Maybe there are some things we can learn from them too. And then on Twitter, I just saw someone answering to their account, but I couldn't find the thread, just saying that let me show you the tweet because it's important to understand. I don't want to say wrong things. Tried implementing OrchardCms into a project only to get inundated by its sheer complexity. Wanted a couple eggs, got a farm. Piranha is so simple and streamlined, much smaller learning curve. Looking forward to learning it and maybe contributing to it as well. Apparently it's answering to, so if you click you don't see the thread, so I'd like to know what was the initial question. But yeah, try sheer complexity, so it's too complex, okay? That's why we don't need the 10 parts articles showing everything we can do. Maybe people are just satisfied with some very simple things, so we should not even just try to explain the complex stuff. Wanted a couple eggs, got a farm. Piranha is so simple and streamlined, much smaller learning curve. We can see it in two ways. Well, smaller learning curve because there is nothing to learn, so it's very limited, so there is nothing to learn. Or smaller learning curve because another issue is that if you want to do something simple and you still need to learn lots of things, then that's an issue. So we have to find what's the issue in this case. Do we have too much things to learn before being able to do a simple website? Or should we not show the complex stuff so you think you've been efficient quickly? I don't know.
Yeah, it's largely the perception, I think. Well, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to do something simple, such as multi-tenancy, or not even anything, you can have a full-blown CMS by just referencing NuGet packets. But if you then want to write a custom module, it depends on how complex that will be. And also, is he referring to OrchardCms 1 or?
I think core, because here it's an ASP.NET Core. So that's why I also want to understand the question first. And it's also probably missing documentation or tutorials or samples. I know I mentioned something all the time to Antoine and Jasmin. I mentioned it again last week, to create a website without using shapes or anything, still content management. And we don't have a tutorial for that. It would be great if we had a tutorial for that. That will simplify everything.
Having a simple step-by-step tutorial showing that, then...
I understand that if you have to create a blog and you need to understand shapes to create a blog, then good luck. Like he said, you want some eggs, get a farm. I get the idea. It's documented, but it's too many concepts maybe to do what you want. There is a reason why we have shapes, but maybe people don't need that. And having to need to understand that is maybe an issue. So I will talk.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you should be able to create a website using just HTML.
I will show you.
And today
I will show you, and you will create an article on Medium for that, please.
I will. And then, but then if you want to do certain things right or in a reusable way, then that's when you start to do.
But I get the idea that we should be able to start small without having to learn concepts, and if you need them, then just learn them. But so I totally get that. So let's try to fix this issue and to see how it answers the concerns here. Yeah. So here you see they have blogs, but I don't know how flexible the content management is, or if it's just to be able to have blogs. So I have to check. Interesting to know. Yep, I look at it, or everyone can look at it to find better ideas to make things easier. If the concern is still complexity, there is complexity, but to serve a purpose, not just for being complex. Okay, good. Questions, comments, demos? Antoine, you wanted to show something?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Piranha is headless, so there is no generation of HTML by default like we do. Like there is no blog module. Well, yeah, apparently it's headless, so you do everything. Or maybe there's a template that will talk to the CMS by default. That's maybe the reason. Yeah, so that, and because I said that because Quitexia also looked at it a year ago when it started, which is also a headless CMS. At that time, I don't think they had GraphQL. I talked with them quickly to mention something they should look at. Yeah, because they had issues, I don't know with what the database layer they were using. I told them use SQL. Oh, maybe they had issues with MongoDB. I told them use SQL. That's what we use in Orchard. So I don't think they changed, but that's fine. Okay, so Antoine, I make you a presenter. And you can share.
And I am sharing.
And I can see.
Only Bertrand cannot see. I don't know why.
Because he's far away.
Yes.
Bertrand cannot see. Maybe he can't see. That's it. So go on. We'll watch the recording.
I created a Facebook page.
Facebook page.
OrchardCore. So if you like OrchardCore, you can end up the page. I also created a group inside the page. So if you are an OrchardCore user, you can visit and enter the group. I guess there is a button to join it. So you can post, you will be able to post some news, and for example, you could post the news about the Sipke's article. A URL and publishing it. So this is about Facebook and the Facebook group. And then I created OrchardCore.fr and I added an OrchardCore website based on what has been done on OrchardProject.net, which is about Orchard 1. And I almost created the same, but using the agency theme and replacing section by section and the title and the description, and publishing it on OrchardCore.
But it's in English. What's the point?
Right. Yeah. Maybe later I will be able to own OrchardCore.net, which is now owned by another
Foundation.
guy.
I will add you to the subscription. I will ask the permission and I will add you, so at least you can start with the documentation on the /docs from the domain. So you can create a website for the documentation and the new theme.
Okay.
And then migrate the OrchardProject.net to this site, or the other way around. We'll see.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking about OrchardCore.net.
Oh, OrchardCore.net. So we have to talk about, do we want to split the two sites? I'm not sure we want to do that. We have to talk.
Yes.
I create something.
Yeah, so I started this yesterday, and I'm doing it one of my colleagues, and I am explaining him how OrchardCore works.
Okay, in French or English?
In French.
Okay, good.
And in 2 hours, we managed to create an OrchardCore website to replace the template, to commit on a VSTS account we are using.
Using the packages or the source code?
The source code, and specifying the steps in the build definition, and I am using Octopus to deploy the packages on it and to deploy to my web server. So somehow we have a continuous integration environment, and we are just committing the source code and launching a new release, and it's deployed on OrchardCore.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. And how many issues did you find while you were making the site? Missing documentation, bugs, issues with finding the template samples or things like this?
Yeah, not really many issues.
Okay.
No.
That's usually how I find issues, by trying to use it or show it or try to do something. Then you're like, okay, I'm blocked. How do I find that? And if I have to use my own knowledge to find the answer, I'm like, I have an issue because nobody knows it. I need to document it. Okay, that's good. If you didn't have that many issues, but you also have lots of good, or lots of own knowledge that might be used and not the documentation. So that's why I'm saying maybe the issue would be file the documentation for the things that you had to know beforehand.
Yes. That's interesting to explain to someone what doesn't really know OrchardCore, how it works and how we can use it and all the concepts. And
did you have to talk about shapes?
Not yet. Not yet.
Ah, interesting. That's weird.
Making step by step, I'm trying to explain how it works.
Okay.
For example, in 5 minutes, we had a running website with the agency, and step by step we replace sections, explain how liquid templates works, how you can replace the menu items, etc., etc.
Okay, that's awesome. So I will do the same thing to Sipke, so he can make an article without using shapes.
Sorry, what's that?
I said I will do the same thing with you. I will show you how to build a website from the application without shapes and anything. Headless, like headless, but not headless on the south side. And then you will do an article to do the same thing. Boom.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Antoine. Is that it? No more demos?
No.
So there's someone, I heard some noise.
And I stopped sharing.
Yeah, something I read, so just to comment on the fact there is a new site, something you created a new site with a new domain, something I read from another product, I don't remember what product it was. I should, if I could find this article, it would be awesome. Someone said they said they were very happy that they managed to own all the communication that all the contributors were doing by having a single Medium channel where they will put all the blog posts from everyone, like we do on our website for Orchard 1, but not aggregating, just posting and owning the content. So contributor will still create the post, but they will publish it on the only single channel that the team will own, to just have a single way of getting the information. And today with Orchard 1 or 2, we have so many ways to get information that the only way is to use Google and to type some keywords and find who blogged about it, or if there is documentation, or if there is sample. And that's an issue, I think. Maybe we should look also into that.
Blog post, Lombek is trying to aggregate a few bloggers in Orchard blogs. That's something.
Yep. And we have also a page on, we had a page on the first site with that. We still have the data. Once we migrate to the CMS on our site, we'll be able to do that. But still, should we actually just own the content? And I don't know, well, we can't, but yeah, at least have one blog like we do when we publish stuff, or put it on documentation. I don't know, we have to find a solution, I think, to be more consistent with how we provide tutorials and articles. Also, like we did with Chris's blog post, by reusing it because it was super straightforward and nothing to change, so we can just reuse it and still point to his blog. Okay, then
so is that something you would put on the OrchardProject.net website, an aggregate of all the
at least that, like we did, at least that, like we did in Ocean 1.
That would be very good.
But let's say if there is a tutorial to do something like you did, or maybe it should be part of the documentation, and people will not have to look for it to find it, even if it's a list of blog posts, but part of the talk in the documentation. So we can point to it directly and then reference it because the source is there, but still have it in the documentation. So people have one location for getting the information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, we had a videos page on documentation on Orchard 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like this. If it can't be copied, or if we can't own and we still want to, we could just explain what it is and point to it so they can read it, like a chapter, but it's outside of the site. If it's in the same site, that's even better, but if we have to reference some external content, that's fine too. But at least, in the documentation, so they can read documentation, there is a flow, or there is a reference they can search for. But okay, so I just wanted to show you how to create a website from templates. So this was some work from Antoine originally, then Jean-Thierry improved it. Sorry, I'm not sharing. Yeah, okay, I will then. Thank you. Share the desktop. Good. Tell me when you can see.
Will there be a blog post on ASP.NET?
Not yet. I think I asked. Yeah, I asked. It was fine. So I will. I'm not sure now. Did I ask Dan because he left on Friday? I will ask again. I'm not sure I asked, but there should be. Or on Medium, like Sipke did, there will be a blog post. And that's why I wanted also the getting started to be the first page, because it explains what it is. Because if you point people to something like the site, it doesn't even. Before the change we did like on Friday with getting the first index page that reused the blog post we had on the ASP.NET blog, there was no explanation about what it is, the difference between the CMS and the framework, where to start with, what is the CMS features and things like this. So we don't have a proper site informing what it is. Like if you have to tell someone, look at this page to understand what OrchardCore is, then there was nothing. You could have documentation about all the modules, but nothing told you what it was. So so at least we needed this page. So this one, test templates. If I have a template here, so I already did a .NET new-i with, maybe I have it there. .NET new-i. I should just type it here, something like this. Okay, this is what you type from any command line. And then when you have that, you can do .NET new OCCMS, and you can give it a name either by doing a -n with a name, and it will create it locally on this folder with the name of the CS project that you provided, or a -o like output, and you can say my awesome site, and it will create cd my awesome site, a CMS site. So you've got no log by default, well, log on error mode, you've got logging with nlog. If I look at the startup, sorry, you'll get, you see, AddOrchardCms, use static files, use OrchardCore. And now if I just do .NET run, hope it works. It will. Oh, so it's restoring. Okay, I did .NET Run. I should have done a .NET build to show you all the phases here, because it's .NET Run. It will restore, but silently. So it will restore everything, so that will be slow the first time. I should have done a .NET build. Okay, now it's running, and it's listening only on this port, but hopefully with the release we made, it will listen also on HTTPS. I didn't reinstall it since the last packages. And you have the setup, and you can just, so you saw like with 2 commands, you have a running site, logs, SQLite, five seconds, and it works. Okay, so that's the new templates. That's it. Showing the templates and what else. I think that's all I have right now. Lots of PRs to be merged since Friday, so that's good. So you saw also lots of activity on OrchardCore for last week because we released. So everyone was testing, fixing bugs, adding features. That's good, and we'll still have this momentum on the dev branch, so that's good also. No, everything we have is perfect. I don't even want to look at it and have regrets. Everything we have fulfills all the things we need. And that's it. Questions, comments?
I looked at the Git book. It's very nice.
Sure. Read the docs is also very nice. But we don't even need read the docs, right, Antoine, with what you did on the custom website?
We are using mkdocs.
That read the docs is also using, yeah. So that's good. Everything is good. We have GitHub. We have pull request for documentation. Supports
as well, and the files in each module.
Yeah, that's good. It's perfect. Love it. Yeah, how fast we can provide documentation, Sipke will confirm. And yeah, awesome job. Oh, and congrats everyone on the release and the work you provided. Everyone is here. We are just missing Jean-Thierry as usual. I don't know why he's not joining the meetings. He's awake at the time. Hey Jean-Thierry, I'm sure you are listening to it. Join us. You don't have to talk if you don't want to talk. You can just listen and type in the chat window. Thanks Matthias for the work. Thanks Jasmin, Antoine, who found all the huge bugs before we ship. Sipke for shipping forms. So theories for the issue about we need to change the Jumbotron. And everyone who tried it. Who works a lot on the thing and he's not at the meeting. There must be some people who work a lot but are not at the meeting.
Of course, Kevin.
Kevin, yeah. Who cares? How do I stop? Oh, I'm on the correct window. That's what I was looking for. OrchardCore here. No, OrchardCore here.
There are 60 contributors.
Yes, 60.
Started. We almost have
Nick.
more staff than Orchard 1.
I didn't hear what you said. Nobody heard because it got. Alexander Bosharov for the CI. Sergio, less active because of work, I assume, but he contributed a lot. Lucas localization, Chris, him, new contributor. Well, new, he was also in Orchard 1, but newly contribution for OrchardCore, that's good. Pete also is very active, he's got a website running on OrchardCore already. Albert, that's good. Michael, who provided a new module for social login. Rustem also for anti-framework and things. Awesome. Lots of people contributing. Even if it's small contributions, that's good. Daniel Rosenberg. Okay, good job, everyone. And I'm sure there are some more. No, everyone is here. But these are the most active for the last weeks for shipping beta 2. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Good. More questions? There is a release. There are 2 releases actually on GitHub that I created, by the way, by just creating the tags. So we have the OrchardCore beta 2 with all the release notes, and beta 1. I didn't provide release notes because it's too old. Nobody cares anymore. There are no wiki, but at least we have this one.
Great. So what's up for
beta 3? Let's look at the roadmap, because we have a roadmap. So Sipke, what's up for beta 3?
I don't know yet. There's a ton of things I still want to do with the workflows and forms module.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe
beta 3. Nothing is in the
inspired.
backlog. It will depend on the things we have ready and people start working on. We already have that is ready, but I didn't want to put it in beta 2 because I didn't try it extensively. This is also almost ready. It was just failing the test, and I didn't try it extensively also. But just because of failing, and it was too risky. RC, so beta 3. So what we have in the backlog that will have to be done. Some stuff I probably will do personally because I know what I meant when I did that. Entities API, which is extracting what we have in the content items and making them configurable at the entity level. So we already have entities, but entities have no behavior per se, but just content composition and display composition. What I would like to do is extract versioning, localization from content items, and then you can also plug it on entities. So content item will be just an entity, which is not the case today. An entity with versionable, which are versionable, localizable, securable, and something like this, composable, and that's it. And then if you want users to be versionable, then you would just say my user are versionable. But that's the idea. Taxonomies for obvious reasons. Output caching, not a hard one, but important one for performance. Content localization, okay, which is also very important. Content tree, also called content filtering navigation. CDN support, maybe some issues with file systems or static files, we'll see. Jobs queue, message bus, and
I might be interested in the message bus and possibly even jobs queue for work. There's a lot of message bus work that we're doing, and there's been some interest in the workflows module. So I might want to combine the two. Yeah.
I explained everything to Jean-Thierry also when he started working on background task because it's related, and we designed it, I think, correctly, so we can talk about it. It should not be that hard.
Okay. Cool.
You can also do some audit trail. I didn't put it there, but at some point we'll have an audit trail module. But not interesting. This one is refactoring what we have in Lucene right now to generalize the indexing. There is already an indexing module which will work, but change how it's used in Lucene and make it be usable also for SQL. So we could have index also with custom indices SQL to be able to do like we did in projections on Orchard 1. The idea being to be able to query fields, for instance, dynamic content with SQL. Oh, and by the way, extracting also the notion of content type definitions out of content items. So you could even have users be extensible with fields and parts. If you say that users is content typeable or extensible, something like this, okay? As it's content extensible.
Composable, maybe.
There is a UI and there is the content. Well, it's that the UI and the content are composable already, but then extending automatically the type definition with dynamic type definition, that's different. Because you can already compose a user from parts and data. It's there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a driver of anything, of iUser, comma, something. It's there. You can compose UI and content. But
codes.
Reusable parts and fields for an entity, that's different.
Yeah.
And there are two things, because here content item itself is an entity, but you have types of entities. They are all content items, but you create types of entities like product, shirt, article. User, there is one type, it's user. So there is a level of there is a notion here that we need to define also. So they are all content items, entities, but they have a type property. So typeable, or I don't know, I don't know what it will be. Bertrand will think about it and find, and will say, oh, I have it in. Did he write it already? No.
In decent CMS.
Yes, you will say, oh, I have it in decent CSS. Let me show you where I noted that. You say, oh, just the metadata on the property, on the object, and the metadata will drive the type. And you will say, yes, exactly, because I'm sure he explained it to me 2 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful. Okay, that's it. No more questions? Cool. Thanks, everyone. See you on Thursday for the triage. If I can't make it for any reason, like vacation reasons, then I will ping Jasmin and Antoine only, or tweet about it if they follow me. Do you follow me, Jasmin, on Twitter?
Really going on Twitter ever, so maybe I should.
Okay, so you're not. I was just wondering if how I need to tell you that don't try even to join the meeting, because I know you join most of the time. So if I can't make it, I should be able to make it, but I don't know. Okay, I will write on the Gitter room, and this way I'm sure we will see it. Okay.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, thanks everyone. Try the beta 2, spread the word, and do all the modules you want to do for beta 3. Thanks everyone. See you. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.